Welcome, bipolar winter comrades. We are on a journey to reveal the prophecies of the world's largest and most powerful doomsday cult to usher in the end of all life on Earth. Here, we engage you to help expand the army of responders. We must enlist the intelligence services, military, and media in every country on Earth to thwart this doomsday cult's unfolding plans to execute the world's end. You have reached the podcast of all podcasts.
Good morning. We had a question come in from a reader of the Bipolar Winter blog and viewer of the Bipolar Winter podcast that reads, "A tsunami of rage from the U.S. government and from Catholics, Protestants, and Jews worldwide against the Seventh-day Adventist Church and its members has been prophesied for over 160 years. Has that global uprising now begun?" So an answer to that is yes. There is, in fact, a lot of research being done now by Protestant churches, their universities, think tanks, and people who are hired to analyze the effect of having a wealthy, well-educated, large and growing organization attack the Protestants, or attack the Catholics, or attack the Jews as being followers of the beast, and in fact having the mark of the beast, because as the Seventh-day Adventist Church teaches, once someone is made aware that the Sabbath, the seventh-day Sabbath, is the day that they should be worshiping on, and instead they continue to worship on Sunday, then by worshiping on Sunday, they are accepting onto themselves the mark, or the mark of the beast. And thus they are deceived, and they are going to be lost because they have decided, instead of accepting the truth, to deny the truth and continue following after the teachings that they consider to be evil and satanic and overseen by the first beast of the book of Revelation, that is the Catholic Church, according to their teachings. So I think that not only has different universities begun to study the effect of the Seventh-day Adventist Church's teachings, but also governments are beginning to look at the teachings of the Seventh-day Adventist Church concerning the last day events, the eschatology, the end time events, the idea that the world is coming to an end and that there are going to be 7 last plagues. The first plague being a pandemic of sores inside and outside the body. The second plague being that the oceans begin to die and are unable to sustain life. The third plague being that fresh water supplies begin being contaminated by poisons and poison the humans and animals, and should not be taken inside the body. The next plague is the skin being scourged or affected by the sun and sun flares, by the lack of ozone protection and the skin and cancers developing. The next plague being a plague of darkness, and so on, until you have these 7 plagues that are to happen quickly just before the end of the world. Now, to teach people that there's going to be an end to the world and to be happy about that and to pray that it's soon going to happen, because that has to happen whenever the prayers of the Seventh-day Adventist on Sabbath morning is such that they're asking that the Lord hurry and return in what is called a second coming of Jesus. Then what they're also saying is, please hurry up and make these plagues fall upon our planet so that the end of the world can come and the great final battles can happen, and we can see Jesus in the clouds of heaven and rejoice and be a part of those who are translated. They even have a very specialness to themselves if they're translated. They're forever seen in heaven as someone who can be actually distinguished by what they wear, as someone who was translated, did not see death. So this teaching has and is going to continue to affect families and relationships and organizations, to the point to where when you have social media now able to reach so many multi-hundred millions of people with messages that make people doubt in their own teaching, their own tradition, their own religion, then you're going to have more and more of the leaders of those different organizations, such as the Catholic Church, taking note and asking what they need to do to put a stop to these teachings that make people doubt their families, they make people doubt their church, they make people doubt the traditions, the histories, and the doctrines of an organization. So yes, I do believe that there has been and will continue to be a growing investigation of the effect of these teachings, because if these teachings were able to get the government to come after the Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church at Mount Carmel near Waco, Texas, then the parent company, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is going to do a worldwide rerun of that whole scene that you watch as you watch any documentary on Waco or the Branch Davidians or David Koresh. The Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church taught that they would be effectively attacked and possibly killed by the U.S. government, and that's exactly what the Seventh-day Adventist Church teaches, except the Seventh-day Adventist Church also teaches that the Roman Catholics and the Protestants will be very much involved, and at the same time, behind it all will be, of course, Jews who do not believe in Jesus and are in fact looking for what the Adventists would call the Antichrist, the coming of their Mashiach and their King Messiah, who is, according to the Jewish calendar, is going to soon appear and bring peace. The effect of the Messiah appearing is to bring peace, to teach the nations how to turn their weapons into technologies that can feed and provide comfort and shelter for the masses. There is a third temple that is to be built when the Messiah, the true Messiah, appears. There is to be other teachings that we'll deal with in the future that has to do with what has to happen when the Messiah appears. And the nations and their leaders are taught the Torah and the teachings of the Hebrew Bible, so that they themselves turn from their evil ways, and Jews, in fact, go through their own teshuvah as they return and find redemption in the teachings of their faith. Until next time, thank you.